That's right guys, we are back with another FNaF Jazwares plush concept video. This time we are doing the Wizards, an updated Shadow Freddy plush, and a Circus Baby plush as a bonus. So without further ado, let's get on with the concepts. So for Wither Freddy, I actually didn't really change that much. For him, all I did was just add the two buttons he has and add a little bit of withering, but I only added it on one of his arms because on his left arm he appears to have more withering there, so I decided to just put on the left arm and not on his right arm. And I wanted another way to differentiate this Freddy from the other Freddy, so what I did was add teeth on him because I feel like Wither Freddy's mouth and teeth are defined enough to be necessary into a plushie, and you know, just to be a little different, so that way they're not too similar. And another change I made to him was just make the inner part of his stomach go down more to his torso, just as another way to differentiate this Freddy. Okay, I know I keep saying this a lot, but I just keep on forgetting that I made all these new changes. But another thing I changed on him was add eyelids to him as another way to differentiate this Freddy, and because with the Freddy eyebrows always seem to be down a lot, at least in the cameras. Okay, with the bunny, I really hope Jazwares makes into an actual plush, because with the bunny is my favorite FNaF character in terms of design and backstory. I mean, not really a backstory, but I just feel bad that he literally got torn apart. And for those who don't know, this isn't the one that punched you in the beginning of the video. That was like Night of Bonnie. Just thought I'd throw that in. So unlike with the Freddy, I actually changed a lot from the original Bonnie because his whole face and arm is missing, so of course he's gonna look entirely different. And the wires I drew on him, we haven't seen those wires in a while. The last time I drew those wires was for my Springtrap concept, which is literally in the first part of the series. And at the time this video releases, would be like 2.5 weeks ago when I drew that Springtrap. And I know I said with that Bonnie's arm was missing, but that's actually not true. Only part of his arm is missing. The shoulder part is still intact on him, so the wires are just coming out from his shoulder. And then for the feet withering, I used the same style that Jazwares did for their Nightmare plushies. And of course, just like with the Freddy, I also added the two buttons on him and made the inner part of his stomach go more down. Okay, so Wither Chica definitely isn't in my top 5 favorite FNaF characters, but she's definitely my second favorite withered animatronic. Which is also why I really hope in the future Jazwares could make her into a plush, because I'm gonna be completely honest, it really doesn't seem that hard. So here's what I came up with. So on her beak I added some teeth on her, but not just on the beak, I also made it like run through the whole face, just cause it probably would have looked too similar to the Nightmare Chica plush, even though her teeth should have also gone all the way around her face. But that's just how Jazwares did it, and can't really blame them for doing their own thing. And yeah, the only other things I did was just add withering on one of her arms. Actually, now that I look at it, I probably should have added withering on both of her arms. Man, I really messed up that little detail. How could I mess that up? Yet I somehow remembered to add withering on both of her feet and not both of her arms. Seriously, how can I mess that up? And just like with Bonnie, I also added wires on her, this time on both of her hands. And I just realized I messed up the coloring. In the last two images, they're all dark blue, but in the first image, there's 3 red recolored ones. How did I mess up with a Chica like that? Well, it seems like the only thing I didn't mess up was her torso and her bib. That's not saying much though. But whatever, it's a concept, it doesn't have to look perfect. So a while ago there was a leak for an Amber Foxy plush that was said to be an exclusive to the Jazwares vault. But when we got our first looks at the Namor plushies, we saw that the withering was nothing like the with a Foxy leak. So yeah, that leak was not real, it was just a hoax. So this is my version of a with a Foxy plush. So the withering is basically the same as the Namor Foxy plush. However, on his right eye, there's no withering there, I just put his eye patch there. And on his left eye, I just put more withering, because Wither Foxy appears to have more withering on his face than Namor Foxy does. And you may have noticed that I put shark teeth on him, while Namor Foxy already has shark teeth. But like I said with Wither Freddy, I wanted to make the withers more different from the original ones. So I decided that if Jazwares ever made Wither Foxy and they added these teeth to him, I would assume they'd probably make the teeth a bit smaller, because Namor Foxy's teeth are pretty big. So I feel like if they made Wither Foxy's teeth smaller, it would also look different from Namor Foxy. And Namor Foxy didn't get any withering on his right arm. However, Wither Foxy has a lot of withering on his right arm, so I added that as well. And Namor Foxy actually has brown shorts. However, Jazwares didn't give him any brown shorts, so it's another repeated recolor, kind of like Funko. So I'm hoping when Jazwares ever does get to make Wither Foxy, I'm really hoping they add his pants, because the pants are kind of a key feature to the Foxies. So Withered Golden Freddy is pretty simple, he's just a recolor of Withered Freddy. The only difference is he has a missing ear and wires poking out of him. So yeah, this is a pretty simple plush to make overall. However, when I made Wither Freddy, I just realized Wither Golden Freddy would look exactly like that, and Shadow Freddy is a recolor of Wither Golden Freddy, so it would be really weird if my Shadow Freddy concept looked completely different than my Wither Golden Freddy concept. So I decided to just remake Shadow Freddy to actually be a recolor of Wither Golden Freddy. And to be honest, I feel like this one is a little bit better than my old concept, but you may have a different opinion. So since wave 5 of the Jazwares plushies is rumored to be a sister location wave, I feel like I could make a circus baby concept. And this is how it turned out. So as I mentioned in the second part of this video, Circus Baby's hair would probably be easy to make since it's pretty smooth, and her pigtails wouldn't be that hard either. I mean, it would be the first Jazwares plushie to have something on their heads other than ears and tusks. And whenever it came to companies making plushies for sister location, mainly Funko and Good Stuff, they just skipped over the faceplates, they didn't bother to add them. And that kind of makes sense, considering the fact that there's a lot of faceplates on them, so it would make the design look kind of cluttered. But I mean, the faceplates are basically the most important details of the sister location animatronics, so I feel like Jazwares should add the faceplates to them. And yeah, the body will be pretty simple too. However, the scooper thing on her torso would probably be printed on, considering how small it would be. but if that's the only thing that would be printed on this plushie, I honestly wouldn't mind. And this is all of the concepts I have for this video. As I said in my last video, if this video flops really badly, there's not gonna be a part 4. But if this video gets more views than I thought it was gonna get, then there is a slight chance I will do a part 4. But anyways, that's all for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.